everyone. My name is Crystal Sandine. I will be speaking to you today about the sociological, economical, and psychological impact of human trafficking on a globalized level. I want to understand the different roles, implications, and depth of human trafficking through the three interdisciplinaries I have chosen above. Understanding the implications of this issue on a global stance to decide on what career path to take. First, I would like to start off with an experience Natalia had endured. Natalia was born and raised in Ghana, and like many of her people of her nation, the family struggled. When her family received an opportunity to go to the United States, they were thrilled. They were under the impression that she would receive her education and be able to possibly send money home. In reality, the next 6 years would be filled with 18-hour workdays, with no payment, no education, sexual and physical abuse, and to complete isolation. One day, Natalia was able to escape and get help from a neighbor. Natalia is not alone in this situation in this world we know as human trafficking. Estimates calculate that anywhere between 800,000 and 2.5 million people are trafficked each year. Human trafficking is defined as the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of persons by means of threat or use of force or other forms of having control over another person for the purpose of exploitation. Exploitation shall include at minimum the exploitation of the prostitute of others or other forms of sexual exploitation, forced labor services, slavery or practices similar to slavery, servitude, or the removal of organs. Just by the sheer numbers of victims from this illegal trade shows the global significance. This isn't an isolated account or an occasional happening. This issue affects millions of people every day. On the psychological level, many go through tremendous mental issues with the experiences they have gone through. Trust issues, nightmares, paranoia, and depression are just a few that affect a victim. It can also be embedded to the victim's mind that they cannot function without their captor, making it entirely dependent and protective. The friends and relatives of these trafficked can also have psychological issues as well, including depression, confusion, breakdown, and even denial. Even those who do not know the individual can be affected, especially if they are in the same area. Fear of kidnapping, forced labor, physical and sexual assault, and never returning home can cause them not to interact with other people. Even people outside the country can see high human trafficking areas and want to stay away. Which brings us to sociological effect of human trafficking. A person who is brought up in the human trafficking lifestyle can't understand the significant importance of its negative effects. Long enough and the victim can become the threat. They don't understand the issues and perpetuate the issue. Society as a whole can let down on those who are victims of this modern-day slavery, seeing them as less than humans and not wanting to deal with helping them get out. The government is the same way as well, law enforcement being especially guilty of this. They treat the victims as criminals, not realizing what they have endured. With this issue, the government won't put funds into helping those in need. Which brings us to economics. The economics of human trafficking stretches further than most of us realize. Millions of dollars are spent with the human trafficking trade each year. Victims pay coyotes to bring them over country borders, or slave owners buying humans on the black market. Money is trading hands to fund the trade. This being the case, money is being siphoned out of the world's economy and into the pockets of human traffickers. Most people don't believe that there's anything they can do on an individual level. Not true in the least. An individual can do many things when it comes to human trafficking. Sharing of information, volunteering at places like Safe Haven, where they assist those trapped in the human trafficking trade, and host events to bring human trafficking trade to light. On a national level, funding for operation to conduct stings in order to rescue those who are victims and persecute those who are responsible. Having strict human trafficking policies and updated legislature help local, state, and national governments combat the issue. On the global level, all governments working together through communication, navigation of criminal activity, and cooperation can provide an escape for the victims, creating safe havens for victims and nowhere to hide for the traffickers. They also need to cut off funding to the traffickers. Being able to cut off the circulation of money can make the traffickers look for other means of making money, abandoning the trade. Coming together can make more of a difference, making the whole globe stronger, as well as each individual nation. The nations that come together can be assisted in many other ways because they came together to fight such an issue, and those who refuse to be part of the solution can be outed, making them fight to end human trafficking or keeping on the traffickers inside the nation to be able to capture them once they slip up. There really shouldn't be any political issues with this, except that those who refuse to end human trafficking in their country, this can cause a rift between nations. Certain issues could be that the safety of those trying to enforce the extinction of human trafficking. Many, if not all traffickers, are armed with their own employees to protect their trade. There also can be issues with the governments who condone the trafficking, not participating in the extinction process. Money, resources, and lives can be lost if the operations are not successful. The constant hard work and show of successful operations, along with the show of their resources, are being used, and to what degree should the need for satisfaction of the stakeholders. As much as this can be a challenge, with lack of support, funds, and cultural beliefs about human trafficking, being able to end this tragedy has more benefits. Those being held can live a normal life, or as normal as possible, there being less missing persons and untimely deaths of those being victimized. The trafficking of drugs through human trafficking can also be slowed. A lot of these victims are being used for other illegal activities. The gains of ridding the globe are astronomical and invaluable. The use of global news to spread the information about human trafficking is invaluable as well. Not only does it spread the information about human trafficking, but it can also flesh out the traffickers themselves, either through others who have seen them or their own egos can bring them out into the open. Media outlets have always enjoyed a good rating, as well as being seen as an educational tool. It can be as easy as giving an anonymous tip on illegal activity. In this case, human trafficking can cause a snowball effect in the media world. Social networking has become a faster way to pass information than any other method. Everyone on social media tend to have several friends with diverse backgrounds. One post of information can reach thousands with a matter of hours. As fast as the internet can be for passing information, not everyone will always be at their desk at the same time. Using communication through telephones and, if need be, meetings, applications such as GoToMeeting.com, is the best way to get everyone up to date and to find other methods for success. It is easier to show everyone at the same time what is the latest information than to send an email and have to wait for a confirmation. Technology has an immense role in the operation of capturing exploiters and rescuing survivors, such as heat-seeking cameras, telephone buds to tap into conversations about drops and locations, hidden cameras to show illegal activity, and satellites to zoom in into any place at any time to capture the movement of traffickers. There are positive aspects on technology. There are also negative aspects as well. If those who are helping victims escape are using technology, so are the traffickers. They have their own technology as well as any captured from failed rescue missions. Technology can go either way when it comes to sides. I do believe that positive aspects of technology outweigh the negative. If that wasn't the case, trying to liberate those who are being victimized would be pointless. Human trafficking is one of the worst and oldest crimes on the books to date. Human life means nothing to those who traffic others. Human trafficking does not discriminate between gender, age, sexual preference, religious preference, or race. If a trafficker sees potential in you to exploit, they will take it. This needs to be stopped, and those rescued from a life no one should have to live. Those who are the traffickers need to be dealt with accordingly for the horrors that they have committed.